Do you know the one big mistake that companies make? They harm their best people. Let that sink in for a minute. Companies rarely use their worst performers. On the contrary, they drive out the very people they should have protected. And it's slow. So slow, and it builds over years. Companies hardly even notice it till it is too late. If you have been a manager, you know exactly how this works. Something important comes up and instantly you think of your best person because you don't want anything to go wrong. Even customers say flatly, I need your best person to handle this. And the manager simply nods, already thinking of that one person who can deliver without a single hiccup. This is a fact. Companies give more work to their most reliable person because they can handle it. And that's exactly the problem. They don't break because they are weak. They break because they have been strong for too long. Most companies will claim they value these two attributes the most: integrity and courage. But here is the truth. Most companies cannot handle either. Employees learn this very quickly. It is safer to just nod your head than risk being labeled difficult. In fact, managers have a convenient vocabulary for shutting people down. Phrases like, don't need anything, be a team player, don't be emotional. But the subtext is simple, I need you to agree with me or there will be consequences. And just like that, out goes integrity, out goes courage, and it comes silence. The next one is particularly damaging. Companies love this word, it's loyalty. Sounds noble until you realize what they actually mean. Dependable is not always a compliment. Here's what it often translates to. Dependable to never stir the pot. Dependable to maintain the status quo. And when conformity is rewarded as loyalty, the real challenge disappears. Innovation dies. Street smartness dies. And the organization slowly becomes a bureaucratic heaven for sealed decisions and silent employees. Kids fail to use promised employees and soon enough only mediocrity leaves. And the worst part, mediocrity becomes encouraged. And here's the tragedy. Even brilliant people join later, they won't stay because nothing demotivates a high performer more than watching mediocrity rise. The most self-driven people need three things: freedom, respect, autonomy. Micromanagement suffocates all three. So why do managers micromanage? Most of the time it comes from one thing: a lack of belief in their own abilities and hence their teams. And honestly, who can blame them? When a culture rewards mediocrity, you eventually get managers who come from that same culture. They don't trust their teams because they don't trust themselves, and to hide that insecurity, they confuse decisiveness with being autocratic. And here is the proof. Micromanagement doesn't create results, it creates resignation. Multiple studies show that the number one reason people quit is not salary, but a toxic or disrespectful work culture. The best employees don't complain. They just get up one day and leave, and there's nothing left to do. According to Gallup, 51% of employees are actively looking for a new job or watching for openings. Companies don't lose their people suddenly, they lose them slowly, decision by decision. And the tragedy is this: most of it was preventable. So what can employees do? And what can managers do to pull themselves out back from this edge? Well, the link is in the description. Read the full article. It breaks down in detail. And if you want to go deeper, I explore these very typical workplace stories in my book, 9 Lives at the Edge of Work and Home. Do subscribe. Let's keep this discussion alive. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Your story matters. This is Venkatachanam Vishwanathan, author of 9 Lives at the Edge of Work and Home. Wishing you about journey.